So I taught a class on staff movement, basically staff dance movements. The purpose of the class was really to get people some basic moves that are very foundation block moves that will basically go into almost anything. You can use them with contact, you can use them with traditional and stuff like that. One of the things I did emphasize is your offhand movement. So if you're doing here, making sure, if you're dancing, your offhand should be moving as well. You shouldn't be tucked down, think about your offhand. So some of the things we went over, first off, was basic turning theory, which indicates that there's 4 ways that you can turn. One foot is planted, the other foot has 2 possibilities. So you do that on either side. Left foot's planted, the right foot can turn forward, or the right foot can turn back. Same way with the left, back or forward. That can be translated into any move that you do and how you turn. Probably should be. For example, we started with a figure 8. So with a figure 8, we can turn forward or backwards, either direction. We can do it and practice with both hands. We then went from figure 8, basic figure 8, to stiff arms. So taking the figure 8 and stiff arm, turn, stiff turn. Right now I'm just doing one direction. You should always practice with both. We started working on drills that were mainly going from one side to the other. Highly encourage this. It's important that you keep your hips in line with your turn. So when you step turn, you're stepping 180 degrees, because your hips are what's going to control how well you do the movement. And they need to stay parallel to the staff. Getting in a big floor that has a line on the floor really helps a lot for this. And just practice. Use it as your warm-up to go back and forth. You can use any of the moves you're working on, but really focus on the feet and legs. We did stretch, and I highly encourage stretching before you do any of this. So after the figure 8 moves, and the stiff arm figure 8s, we moved on to off-center moves, and simply starting with basic off-center stalls. So going nothing more than this, which is the hand, the back of the hand facing me, thumb is down, I'm off, quite a ways off-center, stalling one side, stalling the other side, stalling one side, stalling the other side. Not very complicated. We started getting into turning with that, turning with that, turning backwards with that, turning forwards with that. One thing about your turning, the hip movement and the mechanics are the same, but you can start to flare those. So if I'm coming back and turn, that was a reverse turn, I just made it this way instead of just going woo, woo. So you can flare it. You can step across with your turns. You can do the toe around turn. All the same mechanics. You're just flaring your feet a little different. So from here, and with these stalls, and we worked on turning both directions, both sides, we started getting into going behind the back. And where that gets into is on the same side of the body that the staff is, you need to be able to tuck underneath the arm, coming across and down. It can be done from the other side, so up, down. You just have to remember when you're over here, take it behind the arm and across. That can also be done with turn. So boom, that's it. Let me get my turn down. Step back turn. Step forward turn. So you have options. You can do the same. There's the same 4 movements. You can 4 types of turns. One foot planted, the other can go either direction with that as well. So you have that as an option. We got into bringing it up. So what this is once you stall all the way out, you are popping your hand down, and you're really doing an anti-spin. I'm not keeping my hand stiff. I'm getting about here, and I'm shoving it down so that it comes up to my face. Boom. It's this little anti-spin type thing. When I get here, about there, I'm popping my hand up. So I'm, boom, rotating on the point, rotating on that point, rotating on that point. This also has some really nice, like, boom, boom, turns. You can keep going with it. You can pop it down with your turn. Same, step behind type turn. You get a lot of, it's a really nice little flare that you can then turn with. From there, what else do we got? So those behind the back. Oh, we got into the tosses with this. So when you're stalling, there's a really nice, so if anytime you're off center, if you throw straight up, you get a rotation. Rotation. So with this stall turn, stall, flip, rotation. I just grabbed in the middle. You can also stall, grab the other side. You can grab off center if you want to go behind and cradle. I switched my grip that time we didn't work on that. So here, you can go into fishtail if you want. So this kind of like little stall. This is really good if it's starting to slide out of your hand. It's going, ah! You go, ah! You grab it, you just throw it, and you go, boom! And keep right on going. This can be used in, so stall, turn, boom. That's your turning motion using this little stall pop, boom, into a turn. So that's one of the things we worked on. I know there's some other stuff. We did switch over to the horizontal plane, working mainly on this little, you got your back of your hand movement. So normally the way you can kind of practice this is be able to catch it on the back of your hand, kind of keep it. You don't have to be that exact when you get into just catching it on the back of the hand. I'm on the back of my hand, that's a 180 toss. I find I don't use 180 that much because the staff's going pretty slow in its rotational speed. A lot more times I use the 360. So as a 360, oops, over here, 360. I like taking it one side of my body to the other side of my body. It's a very nice little flare move. This is also a recovery move. It's going kind of wonky. You can just, of course, just throw it up. You see it coming down, catch right on the back of the hand. So it's locked behind the wrist with the hand up. We worked on off center. So you're here off center. You've got a nice flare type move here. You're off center. I just switched my grip again. But this is also, so here is a great place to pass behind the back. Off center, you can turn with that, of course, which is a lot of what we were doing in the class. This is also a great move for contact. Come in, putting it up to the shoulder. You have a nice little contact move. So the off center grip, again, here, up, turn, and you're in a palm spin if you want. You're in the back of the palm thing if you want. You can throw and grab. And really just working on, like, as you step and as you move, making it, using your offhand, using your footwork, keeping in mind there's 4 ways you can turn, playing with each one of these moves and stuff people already know. And I'm sure there's a couple more things, but that's what I got. Thanks.